Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In order to figure out how a system, a political system, works or an economic system works, you look at how it manifests itself in practice. And then you observe its manifestations, and then you go deeper and deeper and you find patterns. And then you try to come with a theory. Now, what we have here is, I think, a little manifestation of the system, the political system. I don't know if it's only the political system. I think it's the how this society functions overall. I'm talking about United States of America. And we have here, I think, another manifestation, and I'm going to use another one. And it's not only two. I'm going to use more than that, and I will use more examples. So I'm going to go with this guy, that I really don't care about him. He's just one example. So this guy is a US representative, I think in New York, in the state of New York, George Santos, who made some, so far, I think, false allegations. During his campaign, he said that he is Jewish, and somehow they found out he's not Jewish. And he made some false claims during his campaign. He got elected. And then these guys, I'm going to tell you who these guys are. These guys decided that he has to go. Somehow, he didn't quit. He said, you know what, I'm not going to quit for that. And they got him with this. He got arrested on federal criminal charges. Now, these are not related to him claiming that he's Jewish or something like that. Something else. The problem is, isn't that strange? That when you become uncomfortable, they immediately find you guilty of something. But do you think he's the only guy who might have been or could be arrested for federal criminal charges? I don't know. I have a gut feeling that it's not so. I think it's just a manifestation of the system that picks on certain people that it wants gone. So he is one of them. So let's see what these guys claim. So we just give him a chance. U.S. Representative George Santos, the New York Republican, infamous for fabricating key parts of his life story. And he's got elected. He didn't want to quit. He's a liar. Oh my God, that's surprising. Was arrested Wednesday on federal criminal charges ahead of an expected court appearance. So he was done. The indictment says Santos induced supporters to donate to a company under the false pretense that the money would be used to support his campaign. Instead, it says he used it for personal expenses, including luxury designer clothes and to pay off his credit cards. Thank God he didn't use it for ladies of the night. That would have been not federal charges, it would have been global charges. Or maybe he would just give him a pass. So, what's the thing here with this guy? He said certain things, they want him to quit. He said, I'm not going to quit. He didn't quit. Well, we're going to make you quit. And very fast, they found him with, they indict him with this kind of thing. They arrested him right here. So the way I think, and let me give you two examples. One is Donald Trump. He's uncomfortable, so he has to be, you know what I mean, put to the side. Because when you get to be uncomfortable to those guys, they will remove you or put you on the, certain ways. They will find something. And you and I don't think we are uncomfortable yet. We're just little fish. I'm talking about bigger fish. And I don't know exactly why this guy was a big fish in the state of New York just because he was a Republican. Because if he committed a crime, by all means, investigate, charge him, allow him to defend himself, and reach a verdict, and then go from there. But if you do that to this guy, well, I can provide you with some other names that you could probably start before you get this little fish, which I think is a little fish, but probably a big fish for others. So this is the way I think the whole scheme works. That's my assessment. All right, am I allowed to say it? As stupid as it sounds. First, you have over there, all right, a clique of interest, and behind interest are people. So there's a clique of people, very important people, who have certain interests, financial interest and power interest. Now they have a narrative of how this world functions, how it should function. In order for them to implement that narrative, that worldview, they have the politicians. Now, the politicians are elected officials through the democratic system of electing our representatives. Now, the politicians are over there, and then underneath you have the courts, and underneath the courts you have the law enforcement agents, the thugs. Not all of them. Thugs, I mean the ones that are used in this context, which are going to be sent as dogs on Santos, for instance. And then you have us, the little fish that have to subscribe to that narrative. If I don't subscribe to that narrative, they don't care. I'm a little fish, doesn't matter. But if like us are about, let's say, 300 million, then we have a problem. 300 million of little fish, that's a big problem. A few thousands or millions of little fish, no problem. But when you have big fish, let's say Trump, now that's a problem. Because with that big fish, there's, 80 million of little fish. So that's a problem. So what do? The narrative, these guys work against the narrative. And when they get, Tucker was another big fish against the narrative. So what happened to him? Look how they tried to push away Trump. Yes, he, yes, he called the woman this. Oh my God, okay, I thought that he's gonna get Trump. I thought that he's gonna be indicted and put in a cage for years and years for, something really, really, really shitty. Like some corruption charges, real bad, billions of dollars, things like this, organized crime, cartels, drugs. This is what I thought. But he seems to be cleaner, much cleaner than I expected. You get him with Daniels, with a porn star that he paid from a campaign, maybe $200,000 or something. Is that how you get him? This guy, a billionaire. Now you get him with this woman now. Oh, sexual harassment, he has to pay this. Oh my God, he's that. With that one, you get this guy. You try to prevent him from being electable. But what, let's say somehow he's allowed to participate, all right, to run for election. The president, let's say Trump. Let's say so he's not barred legally. But he's a bad dude. And he's got, about 100 million, let's say, would vote for him. Is that okay? Is he still allowed to run? Are those 100 million discarded because he's a considered bad dude by the clique or not? What I'm trying to say is that I think, according to my observations, which could be very, very erroneous, or maybe, we'll find, time will tell, that this clique, when they don't like someone who's going to cut the narrative, the house of cards, they will tell the guys that are over there. Those guys will tell the guys over here. They will tell the guys over here. And I forgot the mass media in the meantime, which are parallel to the sideways to the politicians, which are supposed to create the narrative, not to create, to propagate, promote the narrative. The problem is you have a few that are fighting against it. They have a different opinion, but you can't, because that's the narrative. Look on global issues, the same thing. There's a narrative. And if you do not subscribe to that narrative, you're called denier, propagandist. And did you notice that only what these guys are saying is true? And the other guys are telling the lies? Regarding Ukraine, did you notice that everything the Russians are saying is a lie, but everything these guys are saying is true? I mean, if you are an infantile individual, you can only subscribe to this idiocracy. If you're, I would say beyond the age of 18, you're not allowed to think that way anymore. You're allowed to think in, there's gray areas, there are unknowns, there are knowns, not always good, not always bad. You know what I mean? Why? Because you experience life. And you don't get your life from your school teacher, from your media outlet, or from your politician. That's part of life. But your direct experience teaches you certain things that oppose exactly what they say. So we should at least raise some questions. and you ask questions, you meditate about them, gather information, and then you put them together and you come with the answer. And that answer could change or have a different ones with time. Why? Because you gather more information, gather more, and that could turn. But you enhance your knowledge. Therefore, you're going to know more about issues. But if you're intellectually dishonest or simply dumb, you will not be able to do that. So we have here this Santos, who was arrested on federal criminal charges. Now, I don't know if that's true, but do you think that he's the only one? I don't have evidence to support my any claims that I might made or might be implied out of my statement. Do you think that he's the only one who's a crook and he could be indicted on federal criminal charges? Do you think so? If you think so, go and vote for Biden next time again. Oh my God, did I hurt your feelings? Well, didn't you see when he ran that he was not all there? Didn't you see that? How could you vote for something like this? Oh, you hated the other one? Okay, if that's the case, then yes. You're going to vote again for Biden? Go ahead. After all, it's a democracy and we have freedom of choice, right? All right. So I think pay attention to this. When someone becomes uncomfortable for the narrative, then that person will find out he did something in the past. I don't know, had a party with the ladies of the night, I don't know, drove above speed limit, 3 miles per hour or something. He didn't pay at a restaurant one time when he was like 17, 18 or 19 when he was in college. You're going to find little things. Now, pay attention to this. When these guys start hurting little guys, that means they're desperate. So the lower they get with their attacks and they release their dogs, the lower, that means the more desperate they are. So that means the little guys, the little fish, are starting to win. Because you don't bother if a worm goes on your driveway and comes towards your house. You just go and bing, or just ignore it. You're just going to squish it when you go over there to take your mail out from a mailbox. But if, I don't know, some people with military gear show up around your house, now you shit your pants. Now you react. So if these guys react to the Santos and they promoted, oh my God, and the Santos is a Republican representative in the state of New York. He's not a big fish whatsoever. I don't know what the implications will be. We're going to find out. But nevertheless, if they do this to this guy, that means they lower their standard. I mean, they went straight to I was about to say Putin, to Trump, and then everybody else below. They went and got Tucker out. Who's going to be next? This guy is just a little representative. This is an example. They set an example. Not that he's, oh my God, justice here, right here, he's got that. Probably he's got what these guys are saying. Probably not. I do not know. But I have the right to doubt that that is the real reason why these guys moved so fast to get this guy out. He's not the only one who pretended to be someone else, all right? Why would these guys jump on him? Federal charges? All right, go ahead. And if you think that he's going to be brought in front of justice, remember, interest with people, politicians, mass media, judge, the justice system, and below the enforcers, and then the little fish. And the whole thing is the narrative. Just think about it. I'm not pretending to be 100% certain, but I guarantee you I am on the right track. And you'll see. Just pay attention. That's all you need, just to pay attention. And you see who's going to be a little bit threatening the narrative. He's going to be... And this is the idea. Everybody else here is perfect, like Biden, like Kamala Harris. You don't hear anything wrong about her, because the guys who might say something that they did wrong, they're not there. They're not there. They were pushed aside, eliminated like this, puck, 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 puck. And you have only the ones who work to support the narrative. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. We'll see if this video will be allowed to come over to you.